Thanks very much, Hans, for sharing so personally with us about an amazing event, one of the defining moments in our history, and for sharing that personal observations of what's going on there. We're very thankful for God's provision for you, and very glad that you could join us today. When we think about defining moments, there's obviously people thinking about various things coming up. Probably a decade ago, or more for some, the end of term 4 was the defining moment on your radar. Now it's possibly a distant memory for most. For others, the election coming up, or maybe it's just the prospect of annual leave beckoning just a little bit away, could be a defining moment for it. Year end provides us with an opportunity of review and reflection. But ultimately we know there's a far more defining moment that is yet to come. As Christians, we look forward to the day when Jesus Christ returns and when God's glory is fully revealed. On that day, our stewardship of the lives that God has entrusted to us, of the resources that He's prepared for us, our stewardship of those things is going to be revealed. As Hans has suggested, how will we as individuals and how as Crusaders as an organisation handle those things? How we used our time, our money, our opportunities to honour God. Well, with this prospect before us, I'm really thankful for the opportunity to be really transparent and to be able to be accountable to you about Crusaders ministry. I'm delighted to report that the gifts that many of you have given in the past have led to great growth, which I'll describe in a moment. At the same time, I want to encourage each person here, to grow in and through their investment in gospel ministry. Many here already give to advance the gospel through Crusaders, and I want to thank you so much and encourage you to keep going with that. To those who haven't become involved in this way yet, I want to encourage you to grow with us as well. A little later, I'm going to ask each person to consider a tax-deductible gift of $300. I know that to do so, you and I will need to go without some other things that we would have liked. That, of course, is the very nature of sacrificial giving, isn't it? We sacrifice to give to something that we believe should be a priority. I know that there's a discomfort in that, but if you let me use the metaphor, our captain has called us to be crew members on a fishing boat, not passengers on a cruise ship. So what do we see when we scrutinise Crusaders over the last year? Well, anecdotally, according to some of the emails and Facebook postings that we've received recently, God's been working powerfully through the ministry. Sarah wrote, "I've been really inspired to be a stronger Christian. The talks and the leaders' life stories really gave me guidance." Geordie commented, "I'm not a Christian, but I have many questions about God, and I think the best place to get answers is crew camps." Caitlin wrote to us, "This has been just the best camp. I've loved every minute. I've realised I need to have a full life commitment, not just be a part-time Christian." And Damien, who's now led on 13 camps, is directing this summer, emailed this: "It was on a crew camp that I first heard the message of Jesus clearly preached. God touched my life through the camp, and now I live to glorify God because of it." So anecdotally we see that, statistically too. Statistically, Crusaders has grown in all of our 3 key ministry areas. Schools ministry has grown substantially. 2 years ago, at this breakfast, I said that I believed that God was opening opportunities for us in the ACT and asked that people might support that. Today I can report that there are now 13 ACT schools who are being regularly visited, making 185 schools in total. The partnership of schools and Crusaders is unique. The card that you have before you, the cutout figure, Grow With Us, that card and the enclosed DVD tell the story. You can see when you open that, just inside that front cover, you can see that the number of school visits has increased from 197 in 2001 to over 700 last year. Summer camp has more than doubled in the same period. from 3,327 to 6,800. And holiday campers almost doubled, increasing by 99.4% from 1,597 to 3,185. But they're the numbers, and the numbers alone don't flesh out the relationships that have been built. Take schools ministry. Yes, there are over 3,400 students in Cru School groups now, but remember, this is not just a one-off event. These are students who voluntarily meet at lunchtime each week with their leader or teacher. For many, their parents' priorities mean that they cannot attend church on the weekend regularly, so the Cru group is their key source of spiritual nourishment. Our 8 dedicated schools ministry staff visit schools to support these groups and to speak into chapels and assemblies, providing training and resources and prayer. Or consider holiday camps. To say that there's 3,185 attending is only really scraping the surface of what goes on. These campers are entering into a Christian community for up to a week and building relationships which last much longer through your reunions and follow-up and the like. Role models are not at the end of some movie camera or on the far side of some sporting field, but they're sharing meals, engaging in conversations and enjoying activities together. Such connections see lives transformed through God's grace. And Summit School Camps, our third area, separate to the holiday camps, our school camps in term time, they complete the picture. 6,800 campers is not just kids hearing one talk and then going away. Rather, it refers to almost 7,000 students who spend up to 5 days on camp, where every waking moment is spent in the company of Christians who not only talk to them about the gospel, but who live and breathe it. Many would choose never to attend a Christian camp, but because their school recognises the outstanding care that's offered through our Summit team, they come with us. And so this is just an extraordinary opportunity for kids who are not churchgoers to explore issues, to ask questions, and to get answers from young Christian leaders. And at the same time, it provides a brilliant training vehicle for our Summit Fellows, like Hans' daughter. This is vital ministry, particularly when you consider that the National Church Life Survey reports that churches are struggling to get kids to show up. The Anglican Youth Workers Conference last year was reminded that there are only about 20 youth groups in the Sydney region that are successfully attracting youth. Given that the statistics clearly show that around 80% of Australia's adult Christians became Christians before the age of 18, youth ministry is vital. That's why it's essential that we go into the schools where almost 100% of Australian youth is. That's Crusaders' DNA, to reach kids where they're at. However, we don't just want kids to show up, we also want them to grow up. We want them to mature as disciples of Jesus Christ and to live lives that are shaped by their relationship with their Lord. Last year, 57% of our winter campers indicated that, as a result of going on camp, they were now going to start attending youth group. Beck Caton exemplifies the way that God is using Crusaders to grow the faith of young people. You may have seen a photo of Beck in our latest Crew View magazine, but this is your chance to meet her in the flesh. Beck is a brilliant student from St Catherine's Waverley, so could you please welcome her now?